Don't plan your return to work until you watch this video. Leaders who fail to grip these three central areas of need are much more likely to leave their business and people exposed to risk. Hi, this is PJ Stevens talking to Simon Mann about important leadership issues. Simon, can you tell us about your first real leadership crunch moment?
Yes, certainly. It was on my second Northern Ireland tour. I'd done one already. The first one, 20-year-old old Etonian, sent away with 30 Glaswegian lunatics, basically, to go and solve the problems in Ireland. What could possibly go wrong?
Wow. So what did you learn from that period? Well,
plenty. I mean, I loved the Guardsmen and I loved my job. Northern Ireland was pretty miserable, to be honest with you. But the crunch came on the second tour when we were in Belfast. The morale in the battalion wasn't very good. The company wasn't great either. The company commander had issues. And it was a slightly unhappy tour, shall we say. And this was progressing, and we were 3/4 of the way through it. It's a 5-month tour. And we shot some people on the Falls Road one night. One of the sort of terrible sort of Northern Ireland incidents. You know, the car should have stopped. It didn't. There was aggro going on. There was other stuff going on that night, and one of my section commanders opened fire on the car, saying that he had been fired upon. There was then immediately a riot, more shooting. No weapon was found in the car. Accusations of murder against us. SIB, Royal Military Police SIB investigations, investigating me, investigating the section commander, and so on. And I think at that point we had, I guess, about a month and a bit to go before we would return to Münster, in Westphalia in Germany, which was our base. And in those days, I mean, you know, you were in the Clonard, and everyone knew one another. The IRA knew you, you knew them. And you'd say hello to the people who you knew were trying to get you, and I suppose the same was true for them. You know, they were doing the same with us, and we were told, "We're going to kill one of you guys. We're going to kill. We know which platoon this was, and we're going to kill at least one of you before you go home."
So, as leader, how do you manage that? Not just from your personal perspective, but from the lives of the men that you lead.
Well, you know, it's not very heroic or anything, but at that point, my aim became to get everyone home. Right. I just wanted, you know, we were doing our job, we would go on doing our job, but what I wanted to do was do it in such a way that I got everybody back home. Then I had to dig deep, because I really, you know, we were struggling. We were struggling with the battalion, the company, the job, everything. We were struggling. And I thought, right, hang on, wait a minute. What was that thing we were taught at Sandhurst? Adairs 3 circles.
Oh, go on, tell us more about that.
Well, John Adair was a lecturer at Sandhurst. It's very well known. You know, you can type it on Google, the 3 circles, sure. John Adair, it's all there. And his 3 circles, he calls them the 3 circles of need. There is the task need, there is the team, the group need, and there is the individual needs. And basically those 3 circles intersect in a kind of a Venn diagram. And you can use them. It's a tool. It's not a sort of silver bullet. It's not, there's nothing magical about it. It's a paradigm. It's just a way of looking at things. So and you could apply it to this household and my family this weekend. Or you could apply it to the grand strategy of the Soviet Empire. You know, so, you can apply it as you wish.
So tell us how did that apply to you at that time as leader in Northern Ireland?
Well, I had a very depressed and down platoon. The guys, I mean, they didn't like it. You know, we're walking around the streets every day like policemen, except there are snipers out there, and we know they're out there, and they are saying, well, we're going to get one of you. So it's not just a question of sort of obviously not wanting to be shot. It's a question of, well, we've still got to do our job. We've still got to be good at our job. And we've got to get everyone home. So I sat down and I said, okay, we will go through the 3 circles. My platoon sergeant, my section commanders and me, and we got together and we brainstormed the task area of need, the team, our platoon, 30 men, the area of need of that group, including ourselves, and then the individuals in it. How were we going to make each of the individuals, and how could we pull those 3 things together in a good way? We brainstormed, we came up with some absolutely ridiculous ideas, and we came up with some good ones. We went through the ideas in each category, crossed them out, the bad ones, and then we did the good ones. We carried them out. And we had the most phenomenal result. You know, we turned the whole thing around. And suddenly we were actually in trouble with the commanding officer because he was very suspicious that the morale in this platoon was sky high and we were doing a great job and so on and so forth. So it really worked. And I've sort of, I guess I respected it and thought it was a good idea before. Yeah. But after that, I thought, no, this is actually something really useful. So this is a tool in my box that I'm not going to let.
How many years ago was that then that you're just talking through that story?
That story is 1975, Belfast.
So somebody that might say that Adair's model is outdated now, what would you have to say to that?
I would say that's completely untrue, because unless humans have changed fundamentally, that model's never going to be untrue. Right. And even if, because you know, it's a paradigm, it's a way of looking at things. It's not anything magical. They're not boxes you can shove anything into. It's just a way of thinking and a way of looking at it.
So you mentioned just now leadership in Ireland, and then you loosely just mentioned it could be applied to the weekend at home.
Yes.
Can you tell us just a little bit more about how that plays out for you?
What, home?
Do you mind? Are you allowed?
No, but you know, I mean, okay, let's take the present situation with the virus, you know, and I mean, we've all been isolated here since I think we were very early, because we've got people who are vulnerable here, and so I think we were around the 15th of March we started to pretty much isolate, and it's been a long haul, like it has been for everybody. We've got all sorts of different people in the household. You know, we've got a teenager missing school. We've got a 24-year-old boy who thought he was going to do X, Y, and Z, job-wise, career-wise. They're not happening. We've got a girl who thought she was going to be studying art in Milan. She isn't. You know, and so all of that is going on. So, for example, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, okay, so what is the objective here? The objective here is to get the family through this in good shape. You know, not catching the virus, morale high, nobody's shot themselves, etc. Okay, and so then there is the team, there is the group. How do we cater for that? Maybe it's just by having dinner as the sit down that everyone sits down to at 8 o'clock sharp, and that is the, you know, that's the, if you like, the group area of need. We are a group then, and we make a bit of a thing of it, and that's cool. And then the individuals. And say, okay, well, what support does each individual need in order to achieve the task, all of us, and keep the group functioning? What do they actually need? What makes them feel better as an individual?
I'm going to take that one home. That's just one. And just in closing, how would you suggest that people in business consider Adair's needs-driven leadership model, if we can call it that, needs-driven leadership right now?
Well, I think you know, this is such a flexible, useful tool. You can use it in a massive number of ways. I mean, you can use it as the chief of the company, thinking about the company's 5-year, if you like, grand strategy. What is the company going to do? How are we going to develop from here? And how are we going to do it? And you can, those 3 areas of need are all applicable. You know, how are the individuals going to feel about this? How does the group going to work? How's it going to stick together? The different groups even? And are we getting the task right? And is the planning right? And all of that. So, I mean, there is more to Adair than this, because there are 8 action points that follow on from the 3 circles, which are very good, and maybe which we cover in another video. But the three circles, in pure terms of leadership, I've used them in terrible situations. I used them in prison when I'd led 60 people into prison with me, and they are still looking to me to lead them. And I mean, some of them came up to me in the prison and said, "Boss, you do realize the only reason I joined this operation was because I knew that it was you in charge." I hadn't even met them before because of the various complexities of the operation. And so that then comes down on you like a ton of bricks. Because now, we've got to get them out. Task, get out of prison.
No, but it's so true, isn't it? You can see how how well it relates from home and dinner, prison, leadership in Northern Ireland. And I'm thinking now about getting for people this notion of return to work. And that's going to be quite a big task for businesses. How do we do it? What are the individual needs, the team needs?
Absolutely.
And so it's a very useful model now as it was then.
I mean, you can use it as you can use it almost as a philosophy, but you can also use it almost as a pilot checklist. It is incredibly flexible.
Brilliant. Simon, listen, thank you for the discussion today.
Pleasure.
I want to thank you very much for watching, and to thank Simon for his time and insights. We are available to work with you now through virtual webinars, coaching and consulting, and we are happy to discuss future face-to-face bookings to help you tip the balance of success in your favour. See you in our next video.